1, 2, you hear the clock ticking. Tick tock, you about to stop living. Tick tock, I want you to remember me. Tick tock, but the dead don't have no memory. I'm coming. Nobody can stop me. Nobody can hold me. Nobody control me. I'm coming. I'm here to do my thing. I'm here to bring the pain. I'm never ever gonna change. I'm coming.
Hey folks, Evil DM here. Just wanted to talk a little bit about the new Star Wars announcement that's been released as of just yesterday, I believe. Yeah, the 24th. Today's the 25th. But it came out late last night. Lucasfilms to launch Star Wars: The High Republic publishing campaign in 2020. So this will have new stories and expand upon the new Star Wars, which is 200 years before. Or I shouldn't say the new Star Wars. It's supposed to be the Old Republic, but they just named it the High Republic. So that's one of the issues that I have with this right away. So just looking over the article at StarWars.com, you can take a look at, and you could see what they're talking about here. Later, Lucasfilm will launch a new epic of Star Wars storytelling that will explore through multiple voices in adult and young adult novels, children books, and comics in a variety of publishers, including Disney, Lucasfilms Press, Del Rey, IDW Publishing, and Marvel. The Star Wars: The High Republic, which is previously referred to as Project Luminous, will be set in an era of the Galactic Republic, the Jedi Order, are at their zenith about 200 years before the events of Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. The period of the Star Wars timeline will not overlap any of the films featured or the series currently planned for production, giving creators and partners a vast amount of room to tell Star Wars stories with new adventures and original characters. So here is the teaser poster here for the High Republic. And they have some concept art here of what some of the books will look like. And they do have a trailer here of the High Republic, which we can go through here in just a second. I'm not going to be able to play the whole thing through, but you can just go right to their StarWars.com and see it there. Or you can go on YouTube, just search Star Wars High Republic. So let's get right to that video here by Lucasfilms. So we already see here, and I'm going to grab my headphones because I really can't hear it. I forgot to switch things, but you can see as right here, now we have Star Wars: The High Republic replacing the Old Republic logo, which basically looks like the Old Republic logo. And if you've not played any of the Old Republic games for Star Wars, definitely you should check them out because they're awesome. Read their books. They're really awesome. But this is a new direction with new characters and a new way to go, pretty much. It does give the artists and writers some freedom to, do what they need to do in the Star Wars universe.
We're finding ourselves at a very exciting moment with the Skywalker saga coming to an end. We're at a place of what's next for Star Wars. One of the things we've always done is be able to use our franchise platforms to explore the creative potential of the Star Wars galaxy. And so what if publishing was more of an incubation place and bring in great talent and just let their imaginations run free?
Which is, I think, is a great idea. Bring in new people, let their imaginations run free. This is a whole new universe for them to explore, expand upon, and really work at bringing in new fans and, having some fun in the Star Wars universe, right? There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm looking at this so far, I'm like, okay, this looks good. And we'll get further into this.
We put together a really unique writer's room where we had diverse voices with very different opinions about Star Wars.
We all love Star Wars, but we're all coming in from very different places.
This has been a very free environment for everybody to just throw things out there.
And Claudia Gray, as you saw there, did write one of a novel that a lot of people do like, Master and Apprentice, I believe it's called. And I had started reading that a little while ago. It is really good. I have to finish reading it. And I highly suggest picking that up if you want to actually read a really good Star Wars novel. That's written, I think that's written in the Disney canon. I'm not sure. I have to double check, but it is an actually really good book so far.
We've all done lots of storytelling, but this is unique.
This is where I wanted to pause it. This is what they want in the future of Star Wars to depict in going forward. So the fiction, we have authentically lived in, surprised, diversity, actual ending, feelings, relatable characters, sweeping and epic, and humor. Okay? Star Wars love, not pro-war. How it's in the name. Star Wars, not pro-war. They're in the old Republic era, or the High Republic era now, when there was a war pretty much going on between the Sith and the Jedi, pretty much. But they're going to change that. Droids, scope, mythic, space, lightsaber battles, love that. No single main character, I don't know about that. I'm not sold on that exactly. Because usually when I think of Star Wars, I think of an era of Star Wars. If it's going to be the original 3 movies, I'm thinking Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Han Solo, and Chewie, depending. And then we think of the prequel movies, where we think, okay, that's going to be Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Palpatine, things like that. I'm thinking of those central characters in that movie. The new movies, the what are they called? The sequel movies. Sorry about that. I couldn't think of the word. Sequel movies. We think Rey, we think Finn, and we think Poe. Right off the bat, we have 3 characters. Maybe it's not a single character, but when you think of the Skywalker saga, from beginning to end, Luke, Anakin, Rey. You're thinking of those 3 characters, single characters in the movie. Most movies will have a single character they focus on, regardless. Star Trek has Kirk, Picard, Janeway, Cisco, Archer, the new movies. You know, everyone has a thing. Okay, so the wishes for Star Wars: High Republic, Relic Hunters. I'm not sure about that. University, dinosaurs, representation and diversity. Again, Arthurian legends, rival houses. What is this? Harry Potter now? Sith Empire and Chaos Agents, and Splinter Group Force users. So this is what they want with Star Wars. Apparently, they have not learned anything from the sequel movies and anything they've done, and they're going full hog on what they want and not really caring about the fans that have given them their bread and butter all these years, and they're not worried about that. But let's continue on with what they have to say.
And really special.
The idea that this thing has been simmering for so long.
It was the secret history of the galaxy.
Yep, it goes way back to the beginning of Star Wars.
We gave them essentially a blank slate. What would you like to tell?
For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice.
A line that we've been hearing since 1977, and we thought, you know, what does that look like?
It is a golden age where there's much more peace and calm in the galaxy. So we're calling it the High Republic.
The Old Republic really did not have peace. Maybe it was a little bit more calmer than the current saga edition where everything lays, but there really wasn't peace. So, I mean, I guess they're changing the High Republic to be a peaceful time. We'll see.
The description that we've used for the Jedi of this era is that they are the Jedi Knights of the Round Table.
But Star Wars isn't just about Jedi, and
So they are pulling the Arthurian legend in of the Knights of the Round Table, but they're going to call them the Jedi Knights of the Round Table. Yeah, I guess we can do that. Let's continue.
We'll tell stories of new smugglers, new scoundrels, new bounty hunters.
The threat, and
I like that. New stories, bounty hunters, smugglers. Yes, I want to see that. Like the Mandalorian. We saw the Mandalorian himself with Baby Yoda, of course, but the Baby Yoda show to people call it. But we got a character that we really haven't. I mean, we had Boba Fett and Jango Fett, but we didn't really get anything centered around them. And then we got the Mandalorian, which focused entirely on him. We learned new things. We saw some old faces and some new faces moved into this whole new TV series. But let's see what they got here.
the tension really comes from the Republic's borders. because the Republic does not extend from one side of the galaxy to the other.
It's a bit of a Wild West new frontier. We see a different kind of Jedi that patrols the frontiers. It is more of a Texas Ranger.
We're now bringing in concept artists, illustrators, and visualists, the same way that you would when you're making a movie.
Looking at some of this art that they have here, and it's some really good art. I mean, they're going to pull in and pull out all the stops for some really good artists. And they do have some really good artists, some conceptual artists going on, which I really wish that they would use in some of the comic books. I understand this. You have to pay these guys a lot of money to do frame and frame artwork, but I don't know. Some of the artwork, get the better artists. It isn't that great. I'm sorry, but just get the better artists.
Even had Ian McKay come down and just do sketch after sketch for us. When you have the guy who designed the look for Darth Maul sketching Jedi for you, it doesn't get any cooler than this.
And he's actually right. I mean, having the guy that did the conceptual art for that come down and just do random sketches of what he thinks things should look like, my mind would be blown. I'd be like, whoa, that's amazing. Just looking at this, that is cool looking. I like it.
The scale of this initiative is really new for us. We're going to have stories for adults and teens and kids.
We're building this out simultaneously across multiple publishers. It gives us the ability to tell vast interconnected stories across multiple years. There will be a core group of heroes that will expand over time. There'll be villains.
Our main villain are the group called the Nile. We kind of like to refer to them as Space Vikings.
Space Vikings. Let's back it up a minute. So they're going to have a core group of heroes, and it's going to expand out in different directions and probably come back to each other in a movie. That concept, Marvel. They're taking the Marvel formula and they're putting it into Star Wars. They're going to see if it works. I mean, if it worked for Marvel, why can't it work for Star Wars, right?
Their motto is, you can't take it with you, but we can take it from you. Our story starts with what we're calling the Great Disaster.
It wouldn't be Star Wars without adventure. And there's definitely a series of events that will spin the galaxy into a dangerous new direction, and it'll give the opportunity for heroes to rise up.
The cool thing about this is that there's going to be a story for every Star Wars fan.
So there's going to be a story for every Star Wars fan. I'm not sure exactly what that means and what that entails. We can only hope for the best when it comes to anything new Star Wars. But these books and these comic books and the graphic novels for young adults or whatever they call them is a testing ground. This is going to be the testing phase for Lucasfilms and Disney and Marvel, whatever, to figure out what they want. Because if one of these things catches on, like a novel, for example, or a comic book, they can start tweaking that and adding more to it, and then they could start writing a movie about that. And obviously we know the next type of movie is going to be involved in this whole entire next step of the High Republic. And we have to see what happens. Let me play the rest of this trailer.
It's really fun to be able to keep readers on their toes. This era is ripe for storytelling. The eureka moment was the question, what scares the Jedi? And that made us all go, ooh, something wicked this way comes.
So all this stuff starts in August 2020. You could probably, it might be too early to go to the comic book store and pre-order some of the comic books. The novels, I don't think you could really, you might be able to find them on Amazon. I'm not sure as of now. They're probably pre-ordered with some covers listed here, or it might have one of the stand-in covers saying subject to change. And you can pre-order right now, which is, not a bad idea, because if you get it now, and as it gets closer, the price always drops on Amazon, and you'll get the better of the price, and the difference will be changed out, and you'll have a really cool price for a book, and probably a hardback book at that, as opposed to a paperback book, unless they go straight to paperback. I'm not sure. But you may want to check out at least the comic book. I'm probably going to check out the High Republic comic book, #1. I'll probably collect the first 4 It's generally what I do with most of these things is the one here on the right, that is. I'm really not interested in the young, or is that the young adult? I don't know. I know I'm going to go for the Marvel one. That one looks like it has more of a serious tone as opposed to the young adult one or anything. But we shall see. I'm not really excited about this announcement, but I really wanted to get this video out with my opinion about it since I do a lot of Star Wars stuff on my channel. I'm not listing this under my Star Wars gaming stuff. I'm just putting it up as a general video because I like to try to keep opinion stuff and gaming stuff as far away from as possible without, intertwining so much. But let me know what you think. I'll throw the link to this trailer in the notes below. Tell me what you think, what everything means to you, and your opinion on this. Obviously, my opinion is my own, and I'm doing this video for purposes of just opinionated, because I am opinionated, and yeah, some people call me an asshole, but that's life. So with that said, I'm going to say good luck to everyone out there, and good night, everybody.